my class who wants to do some math. Mr. H, garage math, solve equations.
Let's go A's. Let's go A's. Let's win a game. All right, we are a week into baseball almost, and there is only one baseball team in the entire major leagues who have not won a stinking game, and that would be, wait for it, our beloved Sacramento A's. They are off to an 0-4 start. They have set all sorts of records for striking out more than any team in the history of the world. And considering that baseball, I think, has been around since the ancient Romans, that's pretty much a long time. So maybe they need to get their eyes checked. So hopefully they win today. So I'm all garbed up. I know they're not going to win the World Series, not going to make the playoffs, but they've gotten off to really bad starts the last 2 years. And if they don't get off to a better start, nobody's going to go to the games here in Sacramento because the prices are so ridiculously high. It's the third highest ticket price in the entire major leagues. That's weird. But they have like the lowest payroll. We don't have time for that because I can go on and on and on. My name is Mr. Henriksen, Mark Henriksen. This is Garage Math, of course. What else would this be? I'm just a dude in a garage who is going to talk about the surface area of cylinders, which is really important because Christmas is right around the corner. Although it's the last day of March, it's beautiful where I live. Maybe it's supposed to rain. I don't really think so, but whatever. It's pretty warm outside, but you know what they say, March 31st, showers brings out the flowers. So we'll see what happens. My yard is looking amazing. The azaleas are great. The roses are blooming. I love this time of year. I love this time of year so much that I'm going to go ahead and give some presents to some of my best friends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap them. And it's important that we know the surface area of cylinders because otherwise, how would we know how much wrapping paper to have? Now, we've done straight edge things like pyramids, rectangular prisms. This one has a curve in it. So you're like, how do we find the surface area of something with a curve? Really simple. We use what I like to call a formula. Now, the formula looks a little gruesome, but with the use of a calculator and our brain, all we're going to do is plug it in, plugins. Evidently, that's not a thing anymore. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and explain the formula. I'm going to give it probably a real short explanation because at the end of the day, who cares? All we have to do is plug stuff in a formula, okay? But understanding the formula sometimes is kind of helpful and it's not science rocket, so we're going to go ahead and do it. So when you talk about the surface area of a cylinder, you basically have two circles. You have the top and you have the bottom. Okay, so that's the area of the bases. And we know pi r squared. Pi r squared, that's the area of a circle. So 2 pi r squared, that's the area of two circles. Okay, so all we have to know is pi r squared and multiply by 2. The lateral surface is a little tricky because it's a little curvy. And you can't really use a ruler to measure the curvy. So what we're going to do is, imagine we were going to wrap this Clorox container. But check this out. I'm going to show you something really cool. This right here is the lateral surface of the cylinder, okay? So every cylinder you could measure, basically now not every cylinder, especially the ones that we're gonna wrap today, they don't have like paper around them, but this one kind of does. Now there's a little bit on the top and a little bit on the bottom that didn't, but let's just pretend that we did. So when you have a cylinder, you have two circles, you have a top and a bottom, and you have this, which is a rectangle, okay? So what I'm gonna explain to you is, and if you don't get it, just rewind it 7 times, and if you don't get it, do not rewind it an 8th time. Who cares? Just plug it into the formula. But the lateral surface area is pi times d times h. Sometimes you might see 2 times r instead of d. I don't understand why they write 2 times r, because 2 times r is the diameter. But I want you to think about something really quick. If this wrapper goes around here, okay? This wrapper goes around here. If you have the area of any rectangle, right? Any rectangle, it's base times height. The area is the base times height. Well, since this was wrapped, the base of this is actually the circumference of this circle. Okay, I'll do it one more time. This is a rectangle, but if it was in a circle, the base is the circumference. And we've done these in another video where the circumference formula of a circle is pi times d. Pi times d. You'll see 2r pi, but why 2r? Just do d, it's diameter. Pi times d is the circumference of a circle, which is the base of your rectangle. And then the height is the height, h for height, okay? So you have the height, the circumference. This right here is called the lateral surface, okay? Now, I'm not going to explain this anymore in the video. All we're going to do is measure 3 items. And yes, you have to participate, so you need a piece of paper, you need your notebook, you need a pencil, maybe 2 different color highlighters, and you have to have this written down. So if you're there just munching on popcorn, maybe you're watching the A's game as we speak, the Giants, they won a game, that's cool. How about that umpire stuff? I love it. Although I don't know why everybody gets so angry with the umpires. So if they miss a strike by this much, okay, the human eye is not supposed to be that perfect. So I don't think because they're getting these wrong that anyone else would be doing any better. So just say they're not getting it right, that's fine, but don't be so angry. Okay, so that's the formula. Write that formula down. Write it down. Write it down. We're gonna do 3 problems, okay? We're gonna get this party started. All right, now, I do know what better gift to give during the springtime. I want you to think right now, what gift would you want to receive in the springtime, okay? And that's what we're gonna wrap today because we need the surface area. You are correct! A Green Acres is the place to be. This is a 5-gallon bucket. You can have an orange Home Depot one, a blue Lowe's one. This is a green 5-gallon bucket. Now, it's not a perfect cylinder. Kind of has a little bit of ridges on it, but we're gonna go ahead and say that this is a cylinder. I gave this one time to my wife for a present in spring, and I wrapped it all up, and she knew it was a bucket, so she was all excited, and then she opened it up, and then she looked inside, and there was nothing in there. And I went, surprise! And she just kept looking it over, and then she took the bucket and dumped it on my head, and just like hit the top of it really hard. She thought there was something in here. Crock-pot, am I right? Okay, so what I actually did was, these are real life items today. I went ahead and measured this. So what we're gonna talk about is what is the surface area in inches? And I want you guys to remember this. For the most part, that's an inch. So you measure surface area in square inches. How many of those make up the entire surface area of this entire thing? I want you to take a guess right now and write it down and go. It's always higher than you think, okay? All right, I'm gonna try not to get ink all over my pants and my shirt, okay? All right, so here's how we're gonna do this. Remember, these are the 2 circles, and this is the lateral surface, that's the rectangle. Plug it in, plug it in. And here's another thing we can do. If it says 2 pi, I'm only gonna do this one time. For the rest of them, I'm just gonna write 6.28. 2 pi is gonna be 6.28, so why not just start with that? What does change is the radius, okay? The radius, if that's 11.5, and I kind of was thinking not to have halvesies, but it's really what the measurement is. So 11.5 divided by 2, I'm pretty sure is 5 3/4, okay? 11.5 divided by 2 is 5 3/4. Math, okay? So I'm gonna go 5.75 squared, okay? 2 times pi times radius squared, 5.7, okay, so we're gonna go 6.28, 5.75 times 5.75 times 5.75. I got 33.0625. 33.0625. 33.0625 times 6.28. We got a big decimal. I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay? So that's 207.63. Now, that's not the final answer, okay? That right there is the 2 circles, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we have to find the rectangle. Plug it in, plug it in. Okay, 3.14. Okay, our diameter is 11 and a half. Diameter is 11 and a half. 11.5. Our height is 14.5. I know that's really small. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'll try to make those bigger from now on. Okay, and then all I'm gonna do is multiply it. Okay, and that's it. All right, 3.14 times 11.5 times 14.5, 523.60. 523.60. I rounded. Now, the rectangle is always going to be bigger than the two circles. Okay, so that's called the lateral surface area. Okay, the thing that goes around, it's always going to be bigger than the two circles. Now, by doing your work like this, it lets your teacher know, especially if you have different colors. It would have been good if I did that in green, did that in blue. That way you can see the work. In case you get your final answer wrong, you can at least see if one of those was correct, okay? Now we just throw everybody in the pool, okay? 207.63 plus 523.6 equals 731.23, okay? 731.23 inches squared. That's our final answer. I told you, there's 731 of those that make up the surface area of a bucket. It's always way more than you think, okay? All right, that's cool. Surface area of a bucket, okay? All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do two more problems, okay? Okay, and I got them all ready to go already. Hooah! I'm in the garage. What do you think I was going to use? A paint can, okay? It has a top, it has a bottom, and if you ripped off this label, that'd be the lateral surface area. 5-gallon paint can. Okay, I want you to predict. We just did the bucket. The 5-gallon bucket, would it be 5 times as much? That'd be weird. 1 gallon, 5 gallons? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think so. Sort of. Okay, what would be the surface area of this gallon bucket? Okay, and we're going to do inches again. Cool, we're just using our formula. All right, as I told you last time, instead of 2 pi, let's just start off with 6.28, okay? And then we just have to know our radius. Oh, another one of these halvesies. What's up with that? 6.5, I'm gonna say 2.75. 6.5 divided by 2. Oh, 3.25. Oh, I'm kind of an idiot. 3.25. I don't know what I was thinking. What was the last one? 3.25, okay? Oh yeah, it was an odd number. 3.25, 3.25, okay? Pi, 3.14. The diameter, 6.5. The height is 8, okay? Now we just gotta multiply and add. That's fun. All right, 6.28. 6.28 times, oh shoot, I almost screwed up. How come you guys didn't call me out on that? I gotta go 3.25 squared first. 3.25 times 3.25, 10.56, that's rounded. 6.28 times 10.56. Again, this is just using calculators and writing your work neat, okay? All right, 10.56 times 6.28, 66.32. 66.32, okay? That's the two circles. All right, let's find the lateral surface. That's the rectangle, okay? We're just gonna multiply them all at one time. 3.14. Again, you should also be playing, at least have your calculators out, and get your feet off the furniture. Okay, sit up. 163.28, okay? 163.28. 163.28. Okay, so again, and then we have to add them, right? Keep them nice and organized. 66.32 plus 163.28, 229.6. 229.6 inches squared. Always put your labels. 229.6. Now, the 5-gallon bucket is not that paper. The 5-gallon bucket was 731. So that's like 3 times the amount, okay? So I guess that's probably pretty close. I mean, being right, because it kind of smells right, because that's about how much bigger it is. It just wouldn't be 5 times bigger. There's some math. I'm sure that would have told me that earlier. Okay, we're gonna do one more. Now, listen, some of you I know do not get your pencils out, and you're just like, whoa, look at this guy do all the work. Okay, one problem. Hit pause, get some scratch paper, get a pen, get a pencil, I don't care, and do one problem with me. I don't remember the formula. Well, go back, or I'll do this. Right here. If you've just been watching the show, copy that formula down. Hit pause. Okay. I wonder what he's going to use. He's in his garage. Everybody, right now, on the count of 3, guess what I'm going to use that I found in my garage? That is a cylinder. 1, 2, 3. Spray paint, or in this case, primer, but it's a spray paint can, okay? So we're going to wrap this up. Love that sound. You know what that sounds like? I need more primer. Okay, so here's the spray paint can. Okay, square inches. It's obviously going to be the smallest number of all of them. Okay. All right, last one. Spray paint. Okay, all right. We have 2.5 inches, and then we have 8, and that's all the information we need. All right, you guys ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Okay, here we go. 2 times pi, 6.28. R squared, that's 1.25 squared. Half of 2.5 is 1.25. Plus 3.14 times diameter. 2.5 times height times 8, okay? So again, all you gotta do is just have the formula, write it down, and then it's just plug it in, use a calculator. All right, let's do this one first. 1.25 times 1.25, 1.56, that's rounded. 6.28 times 1.56. Now, if you did these already and you didn't round and you kept that to 4 decimals and you're like, my answer is way different. No, it's not. It's like super close. It's fine. All right. Okay. 3.14 times 2.5 times 8 is 62.8. 62.8. Okay. Ooh, I didn't even do that one yet. I got a little ahead of myself. Sorry, I'm just getting excited. 6.28 times 1.56, 9.80 rounded. 9.80, okay? 9.80 square inches. That's really small. So if you think about square inches, you think about this plus this, that's not very many of those little squares, okay? Now we add them together. We add them together. 62.8. I got 72.6. 72.6 inches squared. And again, what does that mean? That means if you have a square inch cut out, you can glue 72.6 all the way around them, okay? That's it. That's surface area of cylinders. I'm not gonna do another video today, but I'm gonna knock out 2 more by the end of the week. But I do have them already written, so I spent a bunch of time today doing all my shapes and doing all my pictures. You want a little sneak peek of what's coming next? We get into volume. Ooh, volume. Here's your homework. Go online and figure this out, or you should already know the answer. What's the difference between the area of something and the volume of something? Why does the area have the little 2, and why does the volume have the little 3? I'll give you a hint. Peace.